All right. So this is casual, which means that we're going to be watching all the cutscenes. So it's basically, literally, casual. Let's do it.
The 13 days after we awoke were the beginning of the end.
You serious?
Be quiet.
Best of luck. She did it! Hands high! Freeze! You alright? I'm not a see. So far, so good. They all want to fight.
Good for them. Give me that.
What the? Run! I've been away! Hey, hey, hey! Let's be rational now. Sending the big guns now. What do we do?
Watch and learn.
Oh no, it's the first fight! Active time battle tutorial. This tutorial explains the basics of combat. I'm not sure if I should read these out or not. So the eventual goal, honestly, is to throw this up on YouTube so that there's, you know, a good playthrough of Final Fantasy 13 for the person who has never played Final Fantasy 13. So for now, I'm just gonna read everything because I'll make sure this is the most boring playthrough of Final Fantasy 13 ever. This tutorial explains the basics of combat. Let's view the tutorial. Time flows continuously throughout battle. Watch as your ATB gauge slowly charges. Characters perform actions by expending charged ATB gauge segments. The actions which they perform depend on the commands you select. You can input entire strings of commands, then unleash them all at once. Select Auto Battle to queue up a set of commands tailored to your situation. Select abilities to specify individual commands as you see fit. A description of each command will be displayed at the top of the screen. For now, try selecting the Auto Battle command. Move the cursor to Auto Battle, then press X to select it. Wait, where's Auto Battle? Is this Auto Battle? No. Is this Auto Battle? No. Okay, I'm not gonna do that stupid shit. 2 attack actions have just been placed in your command queue. As you learn new abilities, you use commands other than attack. It will also become possible to create longer strings of commands. Next, you will need to choose the target of your attacks. When fighting multiple enemies, select your target using the D-pad and then press X to confirm it. You only face one enemy this time, so the choice is simple. Press X to confirm your target and you will execute your 2 attack commands immediately. Once you have finished your attacks, enter more commands and continue fighting until you have defeated the enemy. Note that you will only be able to control the actions of Lightning. Saz will fight on his own, supporting her as he deems best. Good luck! From here on out, how you fight is up to you. And literally everyone says Auto Battle is how we do it.
Not so tough now, huh? Hey, that wasn't like a challenge now, all right? Hey! Coming up! I'm coming!
Heads up.
This thing won't give up.
Seamless transition into battle. Note, you can start recharging your ATB faster by going into abilities. Or into items, rather. You can execute partial strings by pressing triangle. This is all stuff that most of this chat is already aware of. If you would like more of these facts, please press 1. If you would like me to shut up, please press 2. If you would like some dick pics, please text 69.
Oh, goodness. Whew. We did it. Hey! Aren't you supposed to protect civilians, soldier? I mean, you are Sanctum, aren't you? What are you doing trying to stop the purge? Why don't you tell me that?
I was a soldier.
Hey, where do you think you're going? Man. Chocobo, we just can't catch a break, can we? Yeah, that's a good question. Oh well. I better follow her.
Hanging Edge, the restricted zone. Who's ready for more reading? Camera control tutorial. Change the control scheme? Nah. The data log. You possess an advanced digital journal known as a data log that autonomously streams information deemed pertinent. Whenever the data log records a new entry, a notice will appear in the upper left corner of the screen. To peruse entries, press triangle to open the main menu and then select data log.
You sure we can get through here?
So, then you open up your menu and you see, oh my god, there's all these things! Oh my gosh! Information overload! Then there's data log. Not entirely sure what I'm going to do with the data log. I did do one playthrough forever ago where I read through the events and chapter and subchapter texts, but they just recap what just happened in the story, so I'm not going to bother with that so much. This also pops up when you load a save. It pulls up this text while you read while the game loads. Then there's primers on gameplay basics. These are buttons. Saving, you can go to a save point and save. Shopping, you can shop at a save point. And gil, you can get by selling, or you get it from treasure spheres or sell items you no longer need. What most people don't sell stuff because they hoard everything. Minimap, here's how the minimap works. Auto talk. People talk about auto battle, but no one talks about auto talk. But you can talk to an NPC just by walking close to an NPC. Auto jump. Every speedrunner's nightmare. Blue and red indicators. Blue is a jump, red is an interaction. Object interactions part 1. You can open a treasure sphere, you can do an action at a red circle. Skippable cutscenes? What? Cutscenes are skippable? Certain cutscenes are unskippable. If the skip option is not displayed upon pausing, the scene must be viewed in its entirety. That's like almost nothing. Primer's battle. Battle tactics. This actually recaps the tutorial that we just took. If the battle team leader's HP reaches 0, the game is over! Battle results we didn't really talk about. The speed with which you complete a battle determines your rating. Ratings influence rewards, such as the spoils obtained after battle. For each second you undercut the target time, your score increases by the battle's PPS points per second value. This score, in turn, determines your rating. Finishing at the target time will earn you an average rating of 3 stars out of a maximum of 5. Initiating combat with a preemptive strike provides an initiative bonus pre-applied as an extension of the target time. That's actually slightly false. What is the case is if you get the target time, you get a score of 10,000 points. That is always true. And then for each second that you undercut the target time, you get points per second for each second. Hence why it's called points per second. If you get over 13,000 points, you get 5 stars. If you get a preempt, then your score, you get the 10,000 points plus or minus however many points per second, and then you multiply that by 1.2. And at that point, if you have 13,000, you get 5 stars. So it doesn't actually extend the target time; it multiplies your score. That's not the first instance of the data log being slightly inaccurate. Primer's main menu. Area maps. Oh my gosh, there's a map. Data log. We just read this. Camera settings. That's the tutorial that we kind of didn't utilize. And then there's enemy intel. We're not going to read through all of these because this updates for each individual enemy. That's all there is right now. Was the random seed the one where Sasha had Kane? No. So that's the save point. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look, because the contents of the shops do change over time, but Unicorn Mart presently only has potions and Phoenix Downs. And Phoenix Downs are actually very expensive in 13. They cost 1,000 gil. Unlike other games where it's like 100 gil.
This is a mess, is what this is.
Enemy encounters. Enemy encounters. Many and various enemies stalk the roads that you must travel. Upon entering an enemy's detection radius, the minimap in the upper right corner of the screen will flash in warning. Coming into contact with any enemy will initiate a battle. Or we could just run past them. Woo! Except I'm gonna fight them. But you can actually dodge enemies if you wanted to. And then we start a new fight. In this fight, I'm gonna blitz. Because when there's more than one thing to hit, blitz is generally better than not blitzing. And then we have the results here. So our target time was 19 seconds. If we had gotten 19 seconds, we would have 10,000 points. Battle duration was 11, so we got 8 seconds below the target time. Points per second was 526. 526 times 8 is 4,208. Add that to 10,000, you get 14,208, which is more than 13,000. I'm not going to keep doing this, but that's how that works. What do 5 stars do in battle? They multiply your rare drop chance by 5. Enemies have common drops and rare drops. This is how you do this dodge, if you wanted to skip it. Or you can fight it. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep doing a dodge and then fight tactic, but... if you like the information, I'll keep doing it, but... I imagine that a lot of people are very experienced with the game and are like, come on! Alright, so that's how that dodge works. And then you can go and fight them. In this fight, we have an Enforcer, I think. Yeah, Enforcer is new. He is physical. We've seen the Wardens before. The Wardens shoot guns, but they have very low HP. The Enforcers actually have more HP. I'm going to start by blitzing this guy. I'm going to try to get Saz to not target the Warden, though, because 2 blitzes will take him out. You'll notice that I'm going to be using some manipulation of targets in order to get Saz to target who I want him to target. This is more for just general fight efficiency. You can't directly control your allies, but you can control their noses, make them sniff in the wrong direction. And we have our first item. Are you okay, Lude? Got a potion! Free potions. Most enemies in this chapter drop potions and Phoenix Downs, so they're kind of nice to fight.
Not wanting to get purged, I get. But taking on trained soldiers?
Better to die than get sent to Pulse. It's hell for Brimstone.
Yeah, well, hell's not sounding too bad. Because this place ain't exactly paradise.
Domesticated peacekeepers. Nothing to worry about.
Maybe not for a soldier girl, but I'm trying to say, hey!
Oh, I thought the data log was going to update. Oh. Enemy encounters. That was the primer that we got, and then, of course, enemy intel. Whee! As you fight, this, of course, fills up. There's a lot of information here that's not relevant yet. Those doggies are really hard to dodge, but if you run fast, you can dodge them. So we can blitz the Warden away. The Pantherons, however, have more HP. One of the first things that gets revealed in Intel is HP, and you can see 375. That second Pantheron got staggered. This Pantheron got staggered as well. Staggering will be discussed in a tutorial that comes up. There's an item up here. Two potions. Twice as good as the previous chest. Another save point in case you got tired of playing after 2 fights.
Real nice from up there.
I didn't even bother dodging this guy. Here we have a SciComm Aerial Recon. Right off the bat, I'm avoiding auto battle because auto battle will tend to go with single target attacks. But Blitz is generally more effective, as I said, when it hits more than one thing. And there's an item up here. An iron bangle. It's actually our first accessory. So if you go to equipment, you see that characters have weapons and they have accessories. They actually can only equip one accessory slot, and the current accessory you have is an iron bangle that increases HP by 50 points. Of course, there's all these other tabs that we've yet to open up and look at. They'll be more exciting when there's more things going on. There's more enemy intel. Alright, we got rid of all the exclamation points. That's clearly the point of this playthrough. Also, you don't have to run up the side. You can actually jump across. People say this game is a hallway, but there's choices! There's choices! I know that doesn't really help, but... Anyway. Over here, we have 50 gil. And then we have 3 of these wardens.
Preemptive strike.
Rebels. So much for the element of surprise.
The item usage tutorial. This tutorial explains the use of items in combat. Whenever your HP begins to run low in combat, you can heal yourself using items to avoid being knocked out. Select the items command to open your party inventory. It looks like you have some potions, which restore HP when consumed. The number next to an item's name tells you how many items of that type you have left. Move the cursor to the name of the item you wish to use, potion, and then press X. I wonder what would happen if you entered this fight without potions, like you just threw them all in the last fight.
I owe ya.
Since a single potion heals your entire battle team, you do not need to specify a target. Using items is a free action, so you will recover HP immediately without expending any charged segments of your ATB gauge. When you find yourself in a pinch, don't hesitate to use a potion. Remember, even if your allies are still standing, it's game over if the enemy manages to KO lightning. And they're not joking.
Do we turn back?
There's no time.
Then what do you suggest we do?
Quiet.
Hey! 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 Wait! don't leave me!
Let go!
The hell no! You're my only way out of here! No! Hey, that might get us across. Right there. Right?
Looks that way.
All right.
So,
leave this to me.
a lot of people start playing this game and get super confused because it puts them right in the middle of the action. This is actually a common literary technique.
This way.
Literary? I don't know if literary is the right word, but it's called in media res, where the game puts you right in the middle of the action and fills in the backstory with general exposition. So if you don't know what's going on, that's fine. You're not supposed to. Information will be filled in as the game is played. But we have gotten a new event entry, which I'm not going to read out. It just summarizes what we just saw with a little bit more information, but I'm not going to bother reading it out. That's how you dodge this fight. Stare at the ground. That works for reasons that I'm not going to go into. But if you do have to fight this fight, there are 3 panthers.
Hey now.
A general word of advice to people who start playing this game: potions are more valuable in the early game. We have 20 potions right now. They heal 150 HP or 5% of your max HP, whichever is greater. Which generally means 150 HP until you have 3000 HP, in which case 5% exceeds that. You don't get to 3000 HP until about chapter 10 to 11. And once it restores 5%, it's actually less effective. But super early on, 150 HP when your main character has 250, or your party leader has 250, it's almost a full heal.
D4Ts, are we? Weapons down. I'd hate for this to turn ugly.
Turn ugly?
He wants to kill us without a fight.
Time's up!
Attack Chain Tutorial. This tutorial explains attack chains and staggering enemies. To initiate an attack chain, first select Auto Battle or Attack from the Abilities menu and choose the Psychom Marauder as your target. But I don't want to select Attack, I want to blitz! See the bar displayed beneath your target's name? That is known as the chain gauge. Keep an eye on the chain gauge as you strike. When you attack an enemy, its chain gauge fills. Hit home and the percentage beneath increases. I don't know why hit home. What hit home? What is that? Hit home and you... This percentage is called the chain bonus. The more times you hit an enemy, the more damage it will take from subsequent attacks. Continue pummeling the Psychom Marauder, boosting your chain bonus until the gauge is full. Once the chain gauge is full, one further blow will stagger your foe. A staggered enemy takes greater damage when attacked. Chaining attacks to stagger powerful adversaries is essential to defeating them. Be aware, however, that an enemy's chain gauge begins to drain the moment it is staggered. Once the gauge is empty, the enemy will no longer be staggered. I'm going to point out that this is also slightly inaccurate. A staggered enemy taking greater damage when attacked is sort of correct. I mean, technically it's right. What actually happens at stagger is that 100 percentage points is added to the chain gauge. The chain gauge has various uses. The primary one is it's a direct multiplier to damage. So seeing 204% there means that attacks will do 204% of their base damage. So that's basically double, slightly more than double, what it would do normally. Staggering adds 100 percentage points. So early enemies have a very low stagger point because we don't really have any means of chaining, which we will get to, or we'll develop some in Chapter 3. But some enemies have higher stagger points than a mere 103. Like an enemy could have a stagger point of 500%. And if you don't stagger the enemy, but you chain to like 400%, you'll still do 4 times base damage. If you stagger at 500%, 100 percentage points will be added, which will put it at 600%, which will do 6 times base damage. The difference between 4 times and 6 times isn't as significant as this early stagger is. But, I mean, it does add to the chain gauge, and it does do a variety of effects that we'll discuss more when it becomes relevant. This is another instance where selecting Blitz is more effective than using Auto Battle because Auto Battle will select single attacks. The game prioritizes damaging a staggered target, so it will want to use single attacks to focus damage on that target, but by using Blitz, I was able to do damage to the staggered target as well as his allies and take them out much faster. Most people rely on auto battle like a crux, so I like pointing out the instances where auto battle is actually less effective.
So, soldier. What's your angle? What? Classified military info? Huh? What's the matter? You quit, didn't you? What, did you think I'm gonna go out there and just tell everybody your secrets?
My angle. I'm after the Foul Sea. Still happy you tagged along.
Didn't have a choice.
On behalf of Cocoon's citizens, I would like to thank our brave false pioneers and express our best wishes for a successful relocation. Your noble and selfless sacrifice ensures the continued safety and peace of our society. Were it not for this remarkable gesture, every resident of Cocoon, your family, your friends, your neighbors, would be exposed to the dangers of the world below. By choosing to leave Cocoon and participating in this migration,
Migration? More like extermination.
Huge. You stay here.
So sorry. I didn't mean to.
These people need heroes. Here. You keep your cool, and they will too. You got it?
Got it.
What's our motto?
The army's no match for Nora.
That a boy.
Here we have a new person. His name is Snow. And the data log got updated. There's actually some new information here. New story events. But also the 13 days. Day 13, Exile. A foul sea of pulse origin was discovered within a vestige on the outskirts of Bodom 2 days previously, having apparently spent centuries in hibernation, with humans none the wiser to its presence. The Sanctum deemed the potential contamination by pulse magic a risk too great to overlook, and immediately enacted legislation permitting the Purge, an involuntary removal of the foul sea and the entire population of Bodom from Cocoon. Deportees were told only that they would be transported to Pulse. Excuse me. Then there's Pulse. Resting in Cocoon's shadow, the sprawling and enigmatic lower world of Pulse is home to a multitude of terrors. The land is commonly believed to be inhospitable to human life, and a strict ban on interworld travel forbids citizens of Cocoon from venturing there to challenge this hypothesis. Not even members of the Sanctum's upper echelon can claim to have seen the surface with their own eyes, but the attempted invasion by the world's savage armies several centuries ago is well documented. Widespread fear of a repeated assault persists among the populace even today, with colloquial references often likening the world to a manner of living hell. And then we have vocals. Cocoon. From her lofty seat, the world of Cocoon has long enjoyed tranquility. The interior of her spherical shell supports several sprawling cities and a population numbering in the tens of millions. Although a variety of dangerous beasts prowl the wilds, advanced technology and the protection of the world's foul sea keepers ensure residents of peaceful and prosperous existence. Travel to the lower world of Pulse is forbidden, but given their deep-seated cultural fears of the place, Cocoon citizens would not even think to venture beyond the paradise they know. And then Hanging Edge. A relic of days before the War of Transgression, the Hanging Edge is located near Cocoon's outer rim. The area was once a thriving urban center, but residents were forced to abandon the location when an attack by Pulsian forces cracked Cocoon's shell during a conflict several centuries past. It was since designated a restricted zone and, with civilian access prohibited, soon became nothing more than a name on local maps. And Cocoon Society. The Sanctum. Cocoon's central government, the Sanctum, holds supreme executive, legislative, and judicial power. It also maintains directive authority over the military. Despite the fact that Cocoon was built by the foul sea and not by humans, foul sea opt to participate only superficially in governmental affairs, leaving Cocoon's administration entirely at the discretion of the human Sanctum and its Primarch, Galvanth Daisley. And then the Purge. To the millions who call Cocoon home, the lower world of Pulse represents a constant source of fear. Suspected association with Pulse means stigmatization as the enemy of the state and all mankind, even for born and raised citizens of Cocoon. The recent discovery of a foul sea from Pulse near the city of Bodom caused widespread civil unrest. After placing the city's entire population under quarantine due to the possibility of contamination, the Sanctum then announced its intent to forcibly relocate the affected to Pulse in an emergency measure dubbed by authorities as the Purge. And then Nora. The paramilitary organization known as Nora is a group composed of like-minded youths, assembled by Snow and self-funded by the operation of a seaside cafe in Bodom. Functioning as a neighborhood watch of sorts, Nora members patrol the vicinity of Bodom for trouble. Most often, trouble consists of encroachment by dangerous forms of wildlife. Nora had never openly acted out against the Sanctum prior to the Purge, and because of this, the military had been content to turn a blind eye to the group's activities. And then this is just some new intel. The basic summary here is that there's actually two sorts of planets-ish things. There's Cocoon, and then there's also Pulse. Cocoon is sort of a synthetic planet, I guess. It was built and controlled by the Fal'Cie. Fal'Cie are sort of, they're not deities because they're actually like physical entities, but they are certainly significantly more powerful than general humans. Has the word l'Cie been brought up? I don't think we've seen the word l'Cie. But there's several classes of beings. There's the general humans, which we've been controlling. There's the Fal'Cie, which are these super strong entities. And then there's l'Cie, which we'll see later. But the general summary right now, there's Cocoon and there's Pulse. Pulse is a bad place. Cocoon is where we're at. People are being purged to Pulse because of some sort of taintness associated with them. And people are rebelling because they don't want to be purged. Oh. There's also an item over here. This is also the first example, 50 gil. This is the first example of the auto-talk system.
It's over. It's all over.
You can trigger an NPC to talk by walking close to them.
It's over. It's all over. It's over. It's all over.
This girl apparently has nothing to
It's
say.
over. It's all over. I want to die. I want to die.
Sometimes NPCs have different dialogues.
Die anyway.
Never should have fought back. Never should have fought back.
Hello, ginger bastard. I'm sorry, I'm being teacher-like here.
This is crazy.
Then take a nap.
Really? Can I?
Sure. And when we're taking a dirt nap, you can save them all.
No, that's even worse.
No dirt naps today. We're all in this together. Our enemy's the Cocoon Sanctum, the dreaded Psycom, no less.
What's to dread? Psycom's nothing but a whole bunch of bluster and bullying. They've got nothing on Nora.
Well, we are the heroes after all.
Let's prove it!
Yeah!
Data log updated. I also see we have new people in our party. Which for some reason I can't examine. These are temporary party members. They don't last. Let's see. Cocoon Society, Psycom. The Sanctum military is composed of two main branches. The Guardian Corps, responsible for maintaining security in various jurisdictions throughout Cocoon, and Psycom, Public Security and Intelligence Command. Psycom is an elite special operations unit charged with protecting Cocoon from Polsian incursion. In contrast to the lightly armed Guardian Corps, Psycom employs an array of advanced heavy weaponry and cruiser-class airships. As Psycom bears responsibility for any and all threats of Pulse origin, it was Psycom who conducted the purge. So, you probably are thinking, wow, the data log's giving me way more information than the game is actually giving me. It's actually just encyclopedia knowledge. This is like if you pulled out your smartphone and you looked up the Wikipedia entry on Psycom, this would be probably the intro blurb there. So if you are like, I heard the word Psycom, but I don't remember what that word means. It's like in real life when someone says the word egregious, and you're like, egregious? What does that mean? And then you can go to the Wikipedia page, and it defines egregious in various usages. Or you travel to a foreign country, like the United States, and you hear the word Senate, and you're like, what is the Senate? And you pull up the Senate page, so. All of this is mostly background information. Snow has attack and hand grenade, which is his version of Blitz. Sadly, this special version of Blitz doesn't last for long, but we will use it while we have it. And what I mean by it doesn't last for long, we do have infinite uses of it, but it goes away after chapter 2.
Path out of here.
No more. There are soldiers everywhere.
Yo, boss. What's the plan?
Charge in, guns blazing.
Hey, that's not a plan.
Real heroes don't need plans.
Whoops. So I'm going to take the moment to point out there is full intel here on the Pantheron. There's still a lot of information here that's not immediately relevant, but one thing that actually is surprisingly relevant is underneath vulnerabilities. There are 8 icons on the right, and in order they are fire, ice, lightning, water, arrow, quake, physical, and magical. The only one that really matters right now is the fire one. He is weak to fire. Weak means that they will take double damage to fire elemental abilities. We have yet to see any elemental ability, rather, more accurately, we have yet to see any explicitly elemental ability. Hand grenade is surprisingly fire elemental, so hand grenade does double damage on Pantherons. That's acted 254 damage!
Same plan as always. Hit him hard, hit him again.
And if you don't want to fight anymore, too bad. You get stuck in this fight. This is actually one of the trickier dodges. Some experienced Final Fantasy or general RPG players might be wondering if there's a level system in this game. There is. It does not pop up until chapter 3.
Don't you kids go falling behind now. You all okay? Hey, careful with those. Don't worry. No one's moving to Pulse today. We'll clear you a path out of here, so be ready to...
Wait! Let me fight with you!
You can't expect us to just sit here.
Good help.
Yep. Please, let us help!
Okay then. Volunteers front and center.
Here, take this one. Here you go. And one for you.
Count
Go
me
for
in.
it. Here's yours. Take care now. Mom?
Don't worry. Huh?
So I just
Hold it
pull
steady.
here.
Yeah, feels good.
Yeah, nice.
Can you show me again?
You got it.
That's how it works.
You sure?
Yeah. Moms are tough.
Right.
It's the last one, boss.
All right, last one. Somebody take it.
No, I can't.
Yeah.
Push comes to shove. Keep him safe.
First impression of snow? All talk.
All right, lay low and you'll be fine. We'll clear out the area. We're going home together!
Come on! Everybody up!
Right. New recruits, on me!
Come on.
Time to go, kiddo.
All right. This is just a story update.
We're not losing to
Here-
SciComm, you hear me?
We have what? An iron bangle. We could equip this on Snow, but Snow has 350 HP, which is pretty significant. Snow in general has the most HP.
Stay sharp. Don't want to make their job any easier.
He's a good tank. Another thing we don't have to worry about right here, that we have yet to see, is that LeBro will throw potions for us, but they don't actually come from our stock. So, you really can't die in these fights. If you think that's lame, it doesn't last for much longer.
Bro, back us up. All right, let's shake things up a little.
Mobilize beta force! Put down the resistance!
Heroes don't run from fights.
Heroes don't put on tights.
We fight and we survive.
This is a boss fight, but as noted, you can't die because you have LeBro. What I'm incorporating is speedrun strats. Basically, timing my attacks to avoid getting hit by the behemoth. It has not worked well. But that worked well.
kidding. Stay down.
I told you, didn't I? Moms are tough. Get him home, please.
Hold on!
Come on! We have to move!
Right.
It's an out-and-out massacre. Those people won't even live long enough to die on Pulse.
That was the idea.
What?
Sanctum logic. They conjured up the purge to eliminate a threat. I mean, why carry the danger all the way to Pulse? Why not just stamp it out here? Execution masquerading as exile. That's all the purge ever was.
Relocation to Pulse. How does the government get away with pulling crap like that? And you knew this was gonna happen?
The purge was SciComm. Private Sanctum troops, not the Guardian Corps.
SciComm, Guardian Corps. Soldiers are soldiers, aren't they? Pulse Foul C and their lessee are enemies of the state. Tell a soldier to kill an enemy, and you really think it's gonna matter what uniform he's wearing?
Might have mattered to that one. Couldn't shoot. Got himself shot instead.
How about you? Orders say shoot, you pull the trigger? Fine. Forget I asked.
Wait. What?
This is actually one of the harder fights of the Chapter 1. It has death potential. Don't be afraid to use your potions.
What's that? Huh?
Attention, purge deportees. Attention, purge deportees. Put down your weapons and surrender immediately. Your removal is the will of the people of Cocoon. Should you attempt to flee, the Sanctum will employ every resource necessary to bring you to justice. This land is no longer your home. Cease hostilities and surrender at once.
Sarah!
Just what you were looking for.
Yeah. Right in there.
The post-file C.
Don't worry. We'll be okay.
Mom.
Here. It's too much, isn't it? Face it later. Ciao!
Hey, wait!
You said it made you happy when I smiled, didn't you? But really, I was afraid. I was always afraid.
So, how do you figure that post-file C is different from the Sanctums? All things being equal, I just as soon keep one of them.
Time to jump.
Yeah, I know. Hey! Hey! Hang on! What the? Hey! Damn. If she can do it, so can we.
Come on, come on!
What about the others? They didn't die. They couldn't have died.
Of course not.
Hey, get a grip, man! What's wrong with you?
Get him home. Get who home?
Toss me that.
Catch. What are you doing?
So what are you afraid of, huh? You're supposed to be the hero. She's waiting there, ain't she? Your lovely bride-to-be? Isn't it about time you picked her up?
Yeah. Where's our ride?
Now you're talking.
Data log updated. What has been updated with? We have story, 2 story segments actually. History and myth. We now have Pulse Fal'Cie. Fal'Cie are in existence beyond human comprehension, possessed of incredible magic power. The one responsible for Cocoon's construction are protectors of humanity, but there are others of their kind as well. The Fal'Cie who dwell on Pulse and name themselves enemies of Cocoon. Humans who encounter Pulse Fal'Cie are cursed, being turned to l'Cie in order to destroy Cocoon. It is for this reason that most ordinary citizens support the Purge. Anyone who may have come into contact with one of these Fal'Cie represents a dire threat. And then Cocoon Society, bioweapons. The Sanctum has developed a vast arsenal of weaponry to defend against the constant threat of Pulse, and these living weapons are one of the many fruits its research has borne. Ordinary Cocoon wildlife transformed into efficient killing machinery through selective breeding, intense training, and physical augmentation. Bioweapons retain all the raw power and feral fury of their natural counterparts while obeying the commands of their handlers with unwavering loyalty. And AMP technology. Antimatter Manipulation Principle, AMP, forms the foundation for a variety of technological wonders, enabling phenomena ranging from phase-space interference to the manipulation of gravitational force. Humans ordinarily lack the means to wield magic, but through the use of mana drives, another product of the principle, it is possible to synthesize its effects. Humans ordinarily lack the means to wield magic, meaning that ordinary humans can't use magic. That actually gets a bit retconned in the sequels, but anyway. We are starting to see the phrase l'Cie appear. Oh, and there's this, of course. This is called a tilter because it has tilted many a casual player. But we do see the words Fal'Cie and we see the word l'Cie here, and all we know of l'Cie, or at least what's been told to us so far, is that l'Cie are enemies. It's actually that l'Cie are soldiers underneath the Fal'Cie. There are Fal'Cie on both Cocoon and Pulse Fal'Cie are allegedly enemies of Cocoon. And Cocoon is presumably an enemy of Pulse, I guess. There was a Pulse Fal'Cie that was found. This is what led to the Purge. A Fal'Cie of Pulse origin was discovered on the outskirts of Bodum. And the Pulse Fal'Cie, anyone that encounters the Pulse Fal'Cie, any human who encounters the Pulse Fal'Cie turns into a Pulse l'Cie, which is apparently an enemy of Cocoon. But there are Cocoon Fal'Cie. There are Cocoon Fal'Cie. And there are also Cocoon l'Cie, but they are very rare because they only pop up out of necessity. But l'Cie, if you hear the word l'Cie, you need to know what kind of l'Cie it is for it to matter. But l'Cie are basically soldiers. Fal'Cie are the commanders with special powers. And as mentioned here, humans ordinarily lack the means to wield magic. l'Cie can use magic. They become rather special. So that's a little bit more beyond what the story has given thus far. This is still background information for the most part, but I'm trying to mitigate the usual confusions that pop up through the story. This is the Power Circle. It's the first new weapon of the game. We have the Wild Bear. We also have the Power Circle. The Power Circle increases Snow's strength and lowers his magic. But everything we're using right now is strength because humans lack the ability to wield magic, so I guess we don't need magic after all. You'll also notice that we only have like 3 stats: HP, strength, and magic. They do not expand as the game goes on. Unlike older, or I shouldn't say older, but unlike other RPGs, there are no like 20 million different attributes like agility, defense, intelligence. Those things don't exist in this game. Only HP, strength, and magic. But that's actually fine for all purposes of this game.
crushing it on your own.
This is the last treasure sphere of Chapter 1. 100 gil.
I want every weapon ready to fire. Stay sharp.
All right, on my go.
Right.
That's a sad sound. Where's the soul? Okay.
Hey, Godot.
Yeah?
If you don't know who you gotta save, you just protect them all, right?
Something on your mind? You got plenty of time for thinking on the way, hero.
Yeah.
Ready!
Hey, it's us. It's us. Don't shoot.
Snow!
Since when do you care about kids?
Favor for a friend.
Okay.
Hey, Snow! You made it!
Hey.
Yo. So,
Hey.
you really managed to use that thing?
I think I'm done.
You're done when we are.
Ow! What's it?
That's the one.
Didn't you have something to tell him?
Yeah,
All right then.
but
I'll go with you.
What?
You have no idea what it was like. Oh.
Everyone safe?
The army's no match for Nora.
I meant the kids.
All accounted for.
Okay. Let's keep it that way, all right? I'll swing by the vestige. Keep the kids out of trouble.
You got it. Say hi to the missus for me. You go skirt chasing, I take care of the kids. Some husband.
Dinner's on me.
Better be home cooking.
When's the wedding, lover boy?
Well, don't worry. None of you are invited.
We're still going.
Hey, you serious?
What about me?
Catch you later.
Oh.
This is the end of Chapter 1. And we have Hope and Vanille. Actually, I don't think we've had their names yet. But I think they do pop up here, Hope and Vanille. And one thing to point out is that Vanille lacks a weapon. which is a plot point that we'll see soon. Only new data log thing is the events.
You okay?
I want to tell him. It's just that...
Say, you know how to fly this?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. In you go. That way.
No.
Huh?
If we go in there, that thing could... It could make us Lassie. This is... I don't think I can...
You can do it.
What are you two doing?
Here we go!
Uh-oh. Get back here! You hear me? Hey!
The pulse fell sea. It held our future and our fate.
Thus ends chapter 1. Playtime 1 hour 17 minutes 38 seconds. I will continue with chapter 2 and I will probably end it there.